Alright, hello everyone. My name is Hien. So I'm here for a presentation for my team project. So our topics, my projects and our team projects is about the digital divide. So come with that, our goal want to bridge the digital divide by addressing the disparities in technologies, access across regions, socioeconomic groups, generations, and nations. Rural communities often lack reliable internet, limiting opportunities for children and families, while low-income households struggle with affordability, impacting academic performance. Closer with that, so my subtopic to help to support and let everyone take a look at how it's gonna be make the connect with the digital divide. So my topics is gonna be subtopics gonna be regional digital divide. So I already researched about digital device, specifically regional. So my research will be about the difference between rural, urban, and suburban, and how geographic factors affect to digital divide. So I have researched about digital divide in US for three regions like rural, urban, and suburban. So according to Pew Research Center survey of US ADOS conducts from January to February 8, 2021. There's 7 in 10 rural Americans, 72 have a broadband internet connection at home. But while there's not have any increasing between urban and suburban about broadband adoption in last 5 years, rural residents have increasing 9% in home broadband adoption since 2016, and 6 in 10, approximately 63% reported high-speed connection at home. So you can look at though and see there's an increasing of broadband in rural, but somehow that is still slow. They still have something lower than suburban. So as true for the nations, the mobile technologies of more rural area also rising rapidly, but they're not completely and not really going up over suburban or urban. Even though with the tablet, smartphone, or desktop or anything about the technology. So in 2018 census survey, adults who live in rural areas more likely to access on the high-speed internet was a major problem in their community. 24% said this compare with 13% of urban adult and 9% of suburban adult. Similar rates of concern about access to high-speed internet were shared by rural adults in both lower and higher income households. as well as by those with various levels of educational attainment. Even though rural are more wired today in the past, like they have get wider in better than in the past. But current infrastructure doesn't support consistently dependable broadband access in many rural areas. This lack of reliable high-speed internet access has come to the forefront of discussions about navigating remote work and school during coronavirus pandemic. So, because do you wonder why there is a really hard in rural urban? I mean in rural zone. Because they have more really hard to connect. It's in the high level. So here I have the geographic factors. So usually your availability of access technology is largely dependent on location as your home, as you may live in area which has a availability of certain service. Some locations are lucky enough to receive the best service, which is a great advantage to have, but some they have really poor. That's why I mentioned to rural zone, because they internet access also depend on which countries you situated in order to receive the best service and communicate, as some countries are more advanced than others. The availability of internet in mountainous and rainforest area is really difficult to find. There's high amount of interference. So that's why I told with everyone about the rural. That's why they have a low connection and keep going slower than suburban and urban. And because I think most of young people they live in urban, and yeah. So let me see. And weather is also another factor which impacts our availability to technologies. It's hard to receive a constant electrical supply in areas like North Pole, which are really cold and windy. Accessing technology in the rural area is a very big concern, as a lot of time, effort, and money needs to be invested to improve these facilities. The ability of quality access is largely dependent on your area of living, as people who are situated in urban area tend to receive better internet access than those who live in rural areas. The digital divide is rapidly increasing globally as countries have become further apart in the world of technologies. There is a small number of countries with the latest technological software, the best internet connections, and are excelling in this area, whereas there are other countries which are left behind and barely have access to the internet. So USA, Europe, and Northern Asia are those who are at the top of the regional chain, and the less developed as part is Africa, India, and Southern Asia at the bottom. So internet access is greatly in their standard of living. So back with the digital divide in the US. So we can see in this one on the right side there's a graph. Pictures show how in the rural that has a rural, urban, and urban for the technologies level of technology and the adoptions of these three. So with the home broadband, as we can see that in before there's like 72% have broadband internet in rural America, but in suburban and urban doesn't have anything adoption, like not increasing anything much in last 5 years. But we can see in the graph the rural still be the lowest level, as though even on the smartphone, tablets, or the desktop. I can see that smartphone and the tablet is really increasing rapidly high. The smartphone and tablet, I think that is gonna be a little bit connect than broadband in the desktop. But the desktop, I think, is not gonna be increasing much. So yeah, I think because of the geographic factors, and maybe for some reasons another, that's gonna be affect too. So and through my research, I have learned that the digital divide is gonna be really hard for the young generation. With me, it's really hard to separate the divide. But in the rural, they have a really restricted and really limited, because they have a really high amount, like the mountains, the weather have some factors gonna be affect. And I know the digital device not only from the regional, like me, like from the rural or the mountain, but they also have some conditions, like they have a low income to connect with that. Is the final question, the final sentence I said, like they have no money and their standard to living is poor. Of course, not only in the US, not only some rural state or region in the US, but even the countries outside, there's some still, especially I think Africa and India, or some countries, they have really limited and not really have much money to invest it and to have enough condition to connect with the divide. In North Korea also, and other countries, is a special case, and a separate everyone with the divide differently. And it's also connect with my projects. And That's everything for my project today and for my presentation. Thank you.